So, guys, touching base here, obviously, one of the coming into the grand finale of this series, and that's ongoing fund management and reporting towards that Cayman funds. Obviously, in this final chapter, we're obviously diving into the ongoing management and reporting obligations that every fund, obviously needs to be doing to remain credible, compliant, and investor ready. Essentially, we're going to be covering everything from NAV, which obviously, very important in all hedge funds, and NAV calculations to board governance to risk management to investor communications, and again, the operational backbone of your fund's long-term success. Essentially, that's what we're going to be speaking about in this video. So we're going to kick it off with net asset value. That is NAV. And this is the cornerstone of the investor reporting. Again, it's usually calculated monthly by your independent fund admin, which again we generally sort forward for you at Forward Point Solutions. You can check out our website below, and again, if you did want to go ahead and book in a meeting with me, you can do so below as well. But NAV is based on three main characteristics, right? The value of portfolio holdings, accrued fees and expenses, redemptions and subscriptions. Excuse me. So essentially, all of this together creates that NAV calculation. It's very important for those who know that trust from those investors to continue the actual company and the fund growing in assets, right? Which I'm sure is the long-term aim. So again, accurate NAV ensures those transparent investor reporting, fair subscription and redemption pricing. Again, very important stuff for that investor trust, which we spoke about in the prior videos. And again, clean audit rails. So again, annual external audits review your NAV methodology and confirm regulatory compliance every single year. It's very important, and again, you need to stay on top of this. We do this for you. That's why I obviously said book a meeting, probably a good thing to do. Again, if you aren't fully confident setting up one of these by yourself, or you're unhappy with a quote you've had from someone else, again, you can feel free. I've already said what you can do in the start of this video. So every fund must maintain a document valuation. Again, when we move into the valuation and pricing policies slide here. So every fund will obviously kind of have this document, right, which is called a valuation policy. And this is included in the PPM. Super simple stuff. So there's asset classifications to understand how all of this works. That's level 1, level 2, level 3. That's market to market. That's liquid securities. Level 2, we're looking at model-based pricing with observable inputs as such. And level 3 is estimates based on management discretion or complex models, alternative topics in this particular manner. So the board of directors is only responsible for reviewing the valuation policy, ensuring oversight of over level 2 and level 3 assets, and approving changes or exceptions to standard pricing models. Again, transparency here builds trust. That's what's very key with all of these hedge funds, especially when actually managing alternative and liquid positions in financial markets around the world, okay? So super simple stuff as we wrap things up in that section right there. But when we go into the financial and regulatory reporting section here, Cayman funds have a very strict regulatory calendar, okay? So you can't be missing those filings. And that's why obviously having that corporate service provider, that CSP, such as Forward Point Solutions, which is myself in this instance, and why I'm making these videos is we can have a lot more clients doing these funds. And again, we do all of this for you. We take all of that worry out of your mind. Cherries on top. It's completely fantastic stuff. Few professional fees here and there, but other than that, you're not liable for those, strict reporting calendar schedules coming from CIMA, the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. And again, you must be filing. So for usually this is for me. So this is, my team does all of this in-house. Is fantastic stuff. And that is the audited financial statements with CIMA within 6 months of the year end. So the NAV obviously helps us do this. Again, that's an actual company we use based in Singapore too. And we outsource them for a fund admin. We're very, very specialized in fund administration. Great company. I've got some great connections over there. And a fund annual return, which is a FAR, and that's a form that's submitted online, the Reefs, the online Reefs platform, okay? And then there's the FATSA and the COS filing, that's VATCA, to report global investor holdings and tax, right? That's the tax compliance when I speak about that one there, which is the AML compliance here. Okay, so a failure to obviously meet these deadlines is not going to be a good thing. It's going to result in most fines, regulatory scrutiny, or reputational damage. Always coordinate these filings with your fund if you are doing it yourself. Obviously, if you're not, then you can rely on me, and it's all done for you automatically, which is fantastic stuff. So section 4, we're moving into investor reporting. Again, super simple as we wrap up this video. We've gone through a lot of the most complex things now, but when we obviously look at the investors expect timely, accurate, and secure communications, which is very a standard, a general standard practice. And there's obviously monthly NAV reports, performance breakdowns, and benchmark comparisons, and cap table updates showing subscriptions and redemptions with a notice of material events, changes in strategy, drawdowns, or key personnel. Okay, so using a secure investor portal. Obviously, we provide this through a fund admin based over in Singapore, but using one of these to obviously, this dashboard, it shares it all. I could show you on here, but I don't want to obviously breach into various privacy concerns of the company which we use and showcasing their platform, which I don't actually do. It's all kind of in-house and all for some hedge fund stuff. I don't need to market online for many reasons, So the goal here is essentially create, with the investor, to create that transparency that reduces redemption risk and actually builds that long-term investor confidence. That's very key. We need to be reducing the redemption risk for the investors, maintaining as many assets under management as possible. And that's typically how one of these hedge funds, open-ended mutual funds, closed-ended mutual funds, or even ran. Okay, so your fund's board must again meet 2-4 times a year, ideally quarterly, to review fund performance, strategy execution, conflicts and interests, and again compliance and audit updates. Maintain detailed minutes from each meeting. We do all this for you. These documents are reviewed by regulators during audits, legal counsel during disputes, and investors doing due diligence inside the company before actually looking at investing. So to confirm all of this, a strong board isn't just formal, it's a key signal of, great strength within this market, and that's what you want to have if you are looking at growing a very successful hedge fund. If you're not looking at doing that, then probably end this video now, because why would you want to learn about hedge funds, right? So finally, we're going to be looking at, well, not finally, we've got a few more things to look at, but internal contract controls and risk management. Regulators, investors, they're expecting robust internal controls. This is looking at including AML programs, ongoing kind of monitoring for suspicious activity, counterparty risk, liquidity risk assessments, cybersecurity and operational continuity planning, and periodic compliance audits and director reviews. Okay, so even if your fund is small, these frameworks must exist. And either in-house or even through qualified third parties, depending on your budget. And how much assets under management. That probably correlates with that one there. So moving on to the ongoing service provider management. This is regular reviews of the administrative and auditor kind of performance. So this is what you must be doing annually, regularly, to check on the performance. And that's the legal counsel, the auditor, and the fund admin, and also the custodian. That's obviously the FX prime broker, if you're obviously in FX markets, for example. Best practices here is to conduct annual due diligence on each provider, review fees, structures, and engagement letters. That's such as, I would even be a provider for you as a client if you are interested and you are looking at booking a meeting below. This is what you would be doing regularly. You'd be kind of reviewing my services, the prices we charge, how effective we are, how good we are. This is obviously something which we encourage here at Forward Point Solutions. So again, you have to be ready to replace underperforming vendors to protect investors. Again, this is the business here, and obviously personal relationships are put aside in business. So this is, again, a part of your duty, essentially. And failing to act, again, can actually lead to legal exposure. So you don't want to be doing that at all. And to kind of cut this video up, I'm pretty sure you've now generally understood the true essence of creating one of these hedge funds. And let's just recap of what we've actually gone over. Ongoing fund management is where the structure proves its value or unravels. NAV reporting and governance aren't just technical, they're trust mechanisms. A well-run fund isn't just about alpha, it's about control, compliance, and confidence. Again, thank you all for watching this hedge fund series. It's been great recording it. Also learned a few key points if you want the truth myself. So super interesting when I put all these words together and put all these little presentations together. Super basic, but I really hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you do ever want to contact us for, provide many types of services here at 4 Point Solutions and FPS Financial Group, a worldwide international corporate service provider in fintech solutions business, which is growing quite rapidly over here in Asia, London, and Switzerland. So other than that, guys, I hope you tune into a new video. Please like and subscribe, and I wish you a great evening and speak soon.